B'siyata d'shmai. Here we go, Chavra. We are on Hey Amid Beis. Hey Amid Beis. We're going to start the Chazar over here. The plan is to Chazar at least today, tomorrow, Thursday, maybe through Shabbos, to get down Vav Zayin Ches, Baruch Hashem, hopefully the same way we really ironed in Beis Gimel Dalid. So we're going to start in Hey Amid Beis, about 7 lines from the bottom. Shiurin Chatzitzin Umechitzin Halacha L'Moshe Misinai. That these entities, shiurin, which is what we're talking about, the shiur of the sukkah, which is really that we concluded that the minimum size of a sukkah is halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Chatzitzin, the halacha that when you go to the mikvah you can't have any chatzitzais. Mechitzin, the size of mechitza is going to be what we're talking about. The size of mechitza are all halacha l'Moshe Misinai. And as always, as we chazer, we'll try to both utilize going a little faster, but at the same time, gaining clarity. So if anything is not clear, now is the time to stop us and get clarity. I can't really see the time. I have a light in my face. Okay, that's better. Okay. Givaldik. Says the Gemara, Shiurin. What is Shiurin? Frakti Gemara, Daraisa. Why are you telling me it's Lach Moshe Sinai? It's a Din Daraisa. Why? It says in the Torah, Eretz Chita Seir Gavin Dana Rimoin, Eretz Aziz Shemen Udavash. These are the Shivas Haminim. And Ve'omar Rav Chanin explains Rav Chanin, Kol HaPasik has said this entire Pasik, this Pasik that's explaining all of the Shivas Haminim, Lishiurin Nemar, is all coming to teach us a din about Shiurin. What Shiur? Explains the Gemara. Now, the first part of today's shiur, just to remind us, as we go through all the shiurin, this is really a sidebar. This is coming in really till we get to mechitza, that's halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Says the Gemara, shiurin is what? Excuse me. Chita is what lebeis hamenuga. Chita, the size of wheat, is for a house of saras. Tetanam, we learned to the Mishnah, nechlas beis hamenuga. Someone who enters into a house with saras, he's holding his clothing, he's wearing his ring, and he's holding his ring, He's not wearing it. Could be he's wearing other clothing. We don't care about that. But the clothing that he's holding, the ring that he's holding, the moment you walk into the house, the halacha l'Moshe Misinai is, as we're going to see, they are tamei right away. As we turn over to Vav Amud Aleph, hayolavush keilav. Whereas if someone is wearing his clothing, v'sandalov, v'raglov, and his shoes are on his feet, v'tabata v'etzbaisav, and his ring is on his finger, what's halacha then? Tamei miyat. He is tamei right away. V'hein, and they are tahirin. They are tahirin. Until what? This is the detail that we're looking for. Ad sheyishe b'chdei achilas pras. Until the amount of time elapses that one could eat a kedei achilas pras. This is really a very common halacha. What is achilas pras? The amount of time to eat a half a loaf of bread of chitin, of wheat bread. V'loi pasa oirin. How? Mesav, reclining, v'oichel b'lifton, and eating with a dip. So the halacha l'Moshe Misinai of chita is shir kedei achilas pras. This is the same halacha. This is utilized in hamaitzi. This is utilized in maitzi matzah. This is utilized in many halachas. That is the shir of chita. The next halacha is se'oira, barley. The Tanakh we learned in the Mishnah. Etzem kisa'ira, a bone the size of a se'oira, the size of a barley, is what? Mitame b'maga ubemasa, touching maga. Masa is lifting. But ve'enoi mitame ba'oil, it's not mitame oil, that if you're in the same oil as it, does not mitame you. Gefen, good evening, Rav Shashi. Gefen, what is grape? That's the third one of the Shivas Aminim. Today, are we good?
Yeah.
We're good? Gefen, we're on Vav Amud Aleph, 6 lines down. First one line is mitame ba'oil. Gefen, we're middle of the halacha l'Moshe Misinai that we learn out from the Shivas Aminim. Gefen is what? Famously, Kedei Revi'as Yayin. For what? For Nazir. That's a din daraisa. Nazir's not allowed to drink wine. Teina, the fig is kig roigurgais. The fig is for a groigurgais. Is someone trying to talk to me?
No.
No. Okay, Gavaldik. Good. I mean, no, not good. You'll have to talk. I just wasn't sure. Teina, a fig is kig roigurgais, like a groigurgais like Shabbos, which is the shear for carrying on Shabbos. Of course, you can't carry any bit on Shabbos, but the daraisa is the shear of a groigurgais, which is a teina fig. Remain a pomegranate. The Tanam we learned in the Mishnah called kli balabatim, all vessels of homeowners, of regular people. Shiur on their shear is kerimainim, like a pomegranate. Eretz is, and what does that mean? That means that if there's a hole the size of a pomegranate, then what? Then it is considered a broken kli. With regard to being mekabel tuma, we also said this is relevant with regard to if an item needs to be put in a mikvah, if it's broken and you rebuild it, then it's potter. What's the size of breaking it? It's a hole the size of a rimain. Eretz is shemen, the land of olives and oil, udavash and honey. Eretz shekol shireh kazesim. All the shirim are kazesim and olive. Kol shireh sal gedaitach. Says the Gemara. All the shirim, hayika honey. What about those that we just discussed? Amara, and what do you mean? We just gave a whole list. So what do you mean they're all zeisim? Aleima, you know what it means? Sherov shurel kazeisim. Moist R.A. olive devash. Kisevs agasi Yom Kippur is the amount, a large date that one cannot eat or one is obligated if he eats on Yom Kippur. So concludes the Gemara. This is one big question. Alma, what do we see? We see that shiurin are daraisa ninu. They're din daraisa. So you told me shiurin mechitza and chatzitza are all dinei halach l'moishe misinai. But we see that they're din daraisa. Ask the Gemara, the Tizbra, what are you talking about? Shiurin mikasivi. Does the pasuk actually list the shiurin? No, it just says the shivas aminim, and we learn out what they are. Ella, you know what it is? Hilchas aninu. Really, it's halacha Moshe Sinai. Ukra smachta ba'almahu. And the pasuk is just ana smachta. So that's number one of the day. Is the Shivas Aminim are all learned out to teach us different shiurin, which are halacha Moshe Sinai, and then are pinned on a pasuk asmachta be'alma. We continue. Number two is chatzitzin. We're about 13 lines down. First, we're in the line of chesam and alf is who? Chatzitzin, says the Gemara. Daraisa in the same kasha. It's a din daraisa. The pasuk says, should have anything that separates between you and the water, meaning when you go into the mikveh, your whole body has to be immersed and you can't have any separation. So why are you telling me to lach l'moshe Sinai? Lanes the Gemara, what's halach l'moshe Sinai? L'sairoi, for your hair. What's the din of your hair? The Rabbi Bar Chana, the Rabbi Chana. Mima achas kshura, one hair nanat chaytzatzas. Shalosh, 3 hairs, einay chitzas. Shtayim, 2 hairs, einay yedea. We don't know the halacha. So that's halacha l'moshe Sinai, says the Gemara, is for the hair. Ask the Gemara, 4 lines to the bottom, Saira nami daraisininu. What do you mean? The din of hair is also halacha l'moshe is daraisa. Why? Tachsev, the pasuk says, V'rachas as b'sara b'mayim, and the word es comes to teach us. It's a tafel b'sarai. That which is auxiliary to your basar, remind you, what is that? Sairai, that is your hair. So seemingly we also learned that from the pasuk. Explains the Gemara. You're right. We do learn it from the pasuk. Ki asa yilchasa is famous halacha of Rav Yitzchak. Lichlid Rav Yitzchak. Tamer Rav Yitzchak. Teaches Rav Yitzchak as we turn over to Vavam Beis. Devar Torah midaraisa. What's the din daraisa? Ruboyu makbidalav chaytzis. If it's the majority and you care about it, Chaver, get this din of Rav Yitzchak. You'll see this many times in Mirz Hashem throughout your life. One day we'll learn Hilchas Nida together, and we'll know this halacha there also. Now's the time that you all say in unison, Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Beautiful. Now I know someone's listening. Dvar Shkoich. Dvar Torah, Ruboyu makbidalav chaytzis. Midaraisa of your makbid, it's a chatzitza. But Roy, listen what that means. Your majority of your body has to be covered with something. That's a chatzitza on the biblical level. If you're not makbid, then what? then it is not a chatzitza. So the daraisa level is all about hakpada with roiv. Step 2 is the gazru al ruvay she'enoi makbid. They made a gezerah on a roiv that you're not makbid, meaning something covering the majority of your body, but you're not particular about it. Why? Misham ruvay makbid. Because of, as every gezerah derabanan is, it's one step away from the daraisa. And furthermore, they made a gezerah val mi'utay hamakbid. We're on chesam and beis, 4 lines down. On the biyad hamakbid, misham ruvay hamakbid. Period. Those are the gezerahs. That is the din of Rav Yitzchak. Before we get ask the Gemara, 1 second. Why don't we make a gzeira on a minority that you don't care about? Which, if you realize such a gzeira was made, that would have been very difficult. That would mean you have one dot on your skin that you're not makbid, you don't care about that dot, would still be a problem. Why should we make such a gzeira? Mishami utai hamakbid. Because Amir Makbid, says the Gemara, Inami, or because Misham Rubai Shein Makbid. Classically, the Gemara answers, He Gufa Gezerah. Vana Nekov and Igzar Gzera Ligzera. That's a Gezerah. And therefore, we don't make another Gezerah off of that. So now, that was very lengthy. So what's the Lamaisa? This din of Rav Yitzchak, this is the halacha l'Moshe Sinai. This din of Rav Yitzchak is that midaraisa roivu makbid, and then we have the din of Rabbanan pattern off of it. That is the halach Moshe Sinai. I'm sure many of you are wondering which detail is the halach Moshe Sinai, and that point is not perfectly clear in the words of the Gemara. It's a little bit of a discussion in the Rishonim, etc. If you look at Rashi on the second narrow line, Rashi says, Gezira lav alach l'meish misinayu. Alexander Abanan. Verubai hamakbid l'chudei hu davi alach l'meish misinai. That's how Rashi learns that only Rav hamakbid is alach l'meish misinai. This is a debated point. And finally, din number 3 of the day is mechitzin hadam maran. That's our din. That a minimum size of a sukkah has to be 10 tefachim. Says the Gemara, Anichal Rav Yehuda, Elul Rameir, who, if we remind ourselves, we do Chazarah of Daf Gimel and Daf Dalid, Rameir learned it out from elsewhere. Michael and Meimar, Kiyasil, good beloved, but Daifan Akuma, the Lachal Moshe Sinai is coming to teach us other dinim. So says the Gemara, one second, I'm going to turn off my camera for 10 seconds, just because I'm a little bit nervous. All the lights in my car are on, and just want to start the car. Okay, so says the Gemara, camera should now turn back on. And it isn't. Here it is. Says the Gemara, those are the 3 halach l'Moshe Sinai. That was a omen and a half that we can chazer very quickly. Hilchasa is what? Shiurin, chatzitzin, mechitzin, our halach l'Moshe Sinai. Going backwards, mechitzin, that's our sukkah of 10 tefachim. Chatzitzin, that's the din of going to the mikvah, Reivu Makbid, Mira Makbid, etc. The din of Rav Yitzchak. And Shiurin is the Zayin Minim, each one, the Shir that has its own particular Shir, which is Allah Moshe Sinai, which we then pin on a pasuk. And now we continue the 2 dots about 10 lines down, which goes back to the Mishnah. What we're going to do now is, I'm going to go for another, let's say, 3 minutes, and I want to stop a few minutes before Ma'ariv to give the Olam a few minutes to read what we just did, as there's actually, I'll let the Olam vote. Should we stop right now and give the Olam a good 7 minutes to read through it, and we'll pick up for the 2 dots tomorrow? That's probably a better idea. What does the Chaver think? Anyone?
Neutral.
Neutral. That means a split vote?
No, that means we don't care either way.
Either way.
So you know what? I think the Toyelas. Well, let me ask you, if I stop, is the Chaver going to spend 5 minutes reading what we just did or no? Let's just be honest. If the answer is no, I'll go weiter. If the answer is yeah, then I think we should stop and we should read through it because it was a lot of words.
It'll probably take 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Okay, good. Perfect. So we'll go for 2 more minutes. Givaldik. Shara. Shalom. Says the Gemara, Shein lo shalosh tavanos, doesn't have 3 walls. Tan Rabbanan. Shtayim kol chatzon, shlish zafilu tefach. 2 regular walls in the 3rd, a tefach. Rav Shimon Aimer famously, and remember Rav Shimon, he's going to come back to us. He's going to be one of the Shiitais that holds a sukkah needs to be kava, shalosh kil chasan, or revius afilu tefach. Says the Gemara, what is this machlekes Tanakam and Rav Shimon? But Ma'iko Miflagi, Rabbanan Savi Tanakam hold Yishem the Messiahs. Shashi, you should give over this Gemara. For Rav Shimon Savri, Yishem the Mikra. Rabbanan Savi Yishem the Messiahs. Why? Basukas. We go with the way that it's written, which is what? Only one extra vav. And therefore, Harikan Arba. We have 3 mentions of Sukkahs. One with a vav is 4. Dal Chali Gufei, think of one for itself. So you have 3 mentions of Sukkahs. Pashlu Tlasa, which is what? And the Lach L'Mushbisinai comes and bounces down the last one onto Tefach, to an Tefach. Rav Shimon Savar Yishem Lemikra, which is what? The way that we read it. Basukos, in the plural. Harikan Shisha, because each one is read in the plural, even if it doesn't have the vav. Tal Chad Krali Gufei, one pasuk is needed for itself, so we have 5. We have 4, because the full pasuk is needed for himself. Pashlu Arba, Shosh Kil Chasan, Asi Ilchsai Grotel Revies, Vokma At Tefach. That is the first way of learning. We'll stop over here. We're going to have 3 other ways of learning what the machlekes is. But let's stop over here. We'll pick up from here. B'siyata d'shmaya. The Chevra should get some Chazarah going.